Today we're going to have a look at an Iron Age coin. It's one which is quite dubious in terms of its dating, whether it was struck in the 1st century BC or the 1st century AD, and that's because it has been attributed by certain authors, like Van Arsdale, the author of Celtic coinage of Britain, to actually have been struck during the reign of Boudicca. Now, Boudicca is one of the most famous Iron Age figures. She was a queen of the Iceni. She famously rebelled against the Romans during the reign of Nero, and according to some, issued her own coins, but it is very debatable. We have a silver unit here, which is known as the Norfolk god type, and on the obverse we've got a mysterious-looking Celtic-style head, presumably of a local god, or potentially that of Boudicca. We'll get back to that. On the reverse we have a horse, and you see horses on a lot of Celtic coins. Now, it has been thought that this coin was issued around 60 to 65 BC, which is very early for Icenian coinage, so it's possible, and that's down to hoard evidence and various studies. But it's also been suggested it was issued in the early decades of the 1st century AD, and then some have gone even further and thought that it may have been issued by Boudicca herself. So it's a very debatable issue, to say the least. One thing that is, to me, a little bit more convincing is what it used as a prototype. Now, we talk about prototypes because the Celts, or the Iron Age Britons, used Roman coins and earlier Greek coins as prototypes for the designs of their coins. Originally, they used coins from Philip II of Macedon, and he issued gold staters which spread across the Celtic world, and they were copied and copied until the designs became very, very abstract. With this one, we have a Roman coin used as a prototype, and I've got that here. This was minted in 59 BC in Rome by Roscius Fabatus, who was the moneyer of that, one of the moneyers of that year. And on the obverse, we can see the head of Juno, who's one of the most important Roman goddesses, wearing a goat skin headdress. We can see that very, very clearly. And it is believed that the Celtic coin we have here was copying, to some extent, the portrait on this coin. But rather than celebrating Juno, the Iron Age Britons would have taken the design and modified it into a portrait of one of their own gods, of whom we know very little. The reverse, however, is very different. Rather than the design on the Roman coin, which involves a snake and the inscription Fabati for the moneyer, we have a simple horse with some varied designs above and below. And the Celts loved horses. You see them on a lot of their coins, so it's no surprise that we should see this on a coin of the Iceni. So it really goes to show just how difficult some of these Iron Age coins can be to date. This particular coin could have been minted in around 60 BC, or it could have been minted around 60 AD, and there are lots of different opinions regarding it. But nevertheless, it remains one of the most artistic and fascinating coins from Iron Age Britain.